Hi, my name is Savannah Garrett, and the site that I am covering is the Palace of Westminster in London, England. The Palace of Westminster was used as a place of residence for medieval royals, beginning in around 1016. The oldest portion of Westminster is the Hall, and it was originally built in 1097 under King William II, the son of William the Conqueror. After its completion, the king famously said that the hall was not half as large as he expected and was a, quote, mere bedchamber compared to what he had in mind. Even then, the hall was so large that the royals who lived in Westminster would regularly eat at a smaller hall nearby. The hall was where the first English parliaments were held by Simon de Montfort in 1265, with the model parliament, or the first official parliament of England, taking place in 1295. While these were not the members of parliament that we see today, representatives from cities and boroughs joined together to discuss issues of national concern. They are seen as the foundation of the UK democracy and form a direct link to the House of Commons that we see today. In 1834, the Palace of Westminster was burned down, with only a few of its significant medieval parts surviving, including Westminster Hall, the cloisters of Stevens, the Chapel of St. Mary's Undercroft, and the Jewel Tower. In 1840, the reconstruction process would begin, with the palace being finished in 1870. This took 16 years longer than anticipated and cost 3 times the original budget. In 1859, the clock tower, which was later renamed to the Elizabeth Tower, that houses Big Ben, opened to the public and is the palace's striking clock. Next, let's briefly discuss the purpose of the Palace of Westminster in the present day. In 1965, Queen Elizabeth II declared that the Palace of Westminster would permanently be used by Parliament, and in 1992, maintenance of the palace was entrusted to Parliament. Parliament is made up of 3 elements: the House of Commons, the House of Lords, and the monarchy, with most of the duties being conducted by the 2 houses. The main roles of Parliament include keeping checks on the work that the government is doing, making laws, debating, approving government spending, and the taxation of the Commonwealth. Officials in the House of Commons are chosen every 5 years in a general election, and officials in the House of Lords are appointed for life, generally due to their achievements and experiences, but many lords are not a part of a political party. The reigning monarch can choose to dissolve Parliament before their term is up at the request of the Prime Minister, but today the monarchy does not hold political or executive power within the government, yet it still plays an important role within the nation. The monarch acts as the head of state and is a representation of the Commonwealth, as they provide a sense of national identity, unity, and pride. The United Kingdom is an interesting governmental case study, as there are 4 nations that make it up, including Northern Ireland, Scotland, Wales, and England. Each of these nations have some form of government of their own that can make decisions about education, transportation, and health, but all major decisions within the nation come from the decisions made in Parliament. The Scottish have their own political party, called the Scottish National Party, or SNP for short, and currently hold 56 seats in the House of Commons. In September of 2014, Scotland held a referendum vote to leave the United Kingdom. The vote ended in 55% of Scottish voters wanting to stay with the UK and 45% wanting to leave. There have been calls for another referendum to occur, but at the moment that is out of the realm of possibility, as Westminster has the final say on it, and the Prime Minister, Rishi Sunak, has opposed a vote to occur. There are many aspects of the palace that one should know when visiting this historic site. The first being studying the impressive neo-Gothic style that was employed when rebuilding the palace after the devastating fire that occurred in 1834. Another site that one should note is the Elizabeth Tower that houses Big Ben, as it is one of the most iconic and notable symbols of London. One note on Big Ben, though, is that it may seem smaller in real life than you expected it to be, as I know this was the case for myself. Westminster Abbey is also within the same square as the Palace of Westminster and has been the center of major events within the United Kingdom's history, such as the coronation of kings and queens over hundreds of years, with the most recent coronation occurring on May 6, 2023, for His Royal Highness King Charles III. The Palace of Westminster holds hundreds of years of history, and it is a site that has been extremely unique throughout this history. Having the opportunity to tour the halls in which so much history occurred is a special privilege that we should all cherish. And now to finish up, here are the resources that I used